This is going to be part one of a 6-part video series, kind of talking trash about other airsoft fields and why they struggling. They ain't doing too good for a various plethora of reasons, if you will. Uh, let's talk about the barely entry level field. If it got a grade in business, it would be trickling at a C minus. It'd be right at a 70%, almost about to drop down to 69. These fields usually are only open 2 days a week. They have little to no presence in the airsoft community or even in the local community at all. They have minimal presence. They have little to no online presence. They only do airsoft. Their rules are kind of vague and ambiguous. They're not very specifically written. Their staff members don't know a whole lot about airsoft. They're just sort of there, which is kind of why the rules aren't that well enforced or explained, because they don't know, because they're not airsofters, or they just have no desire to learn. It's just like, it's a minimum wage job for on the weekends. What do I care? The managers either have little to no background in business or little to no background in airsoft, or both, which is very dangerous. That's catastrophic failure. And they haven't done a very good job of marketing themselves to the airsoft community, which is almost death in airsoft. If you can't break into the community, no one's going to usually go to your field, or more people are going to go to your competitors, and only a hardcore player base or a group of people that just don't want to drive any farther than they need to play a silly game are going to come to your field, and that's going to be about it. They don't have any special events. They just sort of do the same stuff. You could not differentiate between the most recent Sunday to the last couple Sundays to 5 Saturdays ago. It's all the same. It's the same games. It's the same layout. They just keep doing the same boring thing, plateauing over and over again. Now, there's some dudes that like that. They're like, yeah, I just want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, cool. But from a business standpoint, remember, I don't see airsoft fields as airsoft fields. I see them as businesses, which might be why the airsoft ministry is doing very well. They're businesses. You need to look at it like a business. How can I attract attention to my business? Attention is a currency in the 21st century business world. If you are not attracting attention, you're not attracting currency. You're not getting a cash flow. If you don't have a cash flow, your business is going to die. Right? Why is everyone getting business advice and marketing advice from a volunteer at a church ministry field? Oh, wait, because we're killing the game right now. We're killing it. That's why we get players from out of state. That's why we get players from hours and hours away to come to a church nonprofit field. Apparently, I've figured out a lot of really cool stuff in the last 3 years of being in this business. The other parts of this video are going to involve, I'm going to do a specific video on location. I'm going to do a specific video on field maintenance and layout. I'm going to do a specific video on the management and the staff, and also the rules and how that ties into the rules. Specific video on the marketing and positioning. That's probably going to be a long one. Duh. And then one on the retail presence or the lack thereof in a field. But those things that I just talked about, those big things, those big topics, if you're not getting A's across the board in all of them, you're going to really struggle. The location you can kind of sacrifice a bit. So some fields that are only open maybe on weekends, look, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, if you're like an hour out from the nearest town, like some of the Midwest fields, some of the outdoor fields, okay, you get a pass on that because you've done such a good job in other aspects of the business. In those 2 days you're open, you're killing it. You're making all the profits you need that some businesses that are open 7 days a week can't even do. Now, some people will say, well, it's really hard to have an airsoft field that's open 7 days a week. That's correct. That is correct. However, Tac City and Project N1 have been doing it for years. There are plenty of airsoft fields out there that are open 7 days a week. They figured it out. All you have to do is just look at what they're doing and do the same thing. That's it. Just look at what your competitors are doing, and if they're killing it over you, you need to change something. If you're not open 7 days a week and you're within city limits or reasonably close to city limits, if you're by a freeway, if you're by a major road, you're not open 7 days a week, you're going to die as a business. I'm telling you right now, you are not going to succeed. Or if you do fall in those categories and you're not open 7 days a week, why? Who have you not hired to improve your business? Are you only hiring like staff guys and ref guys, or are you bringing people in with a marketing background? Are you bringing people in with a business background? Oh, you keep hiring stupid teenagers just to go over a rules briefing on weekends, and that's it. No one understands target markets. No one understands how to appeal to a demographic. No one understands how to market using Twitch as a business tool. No one understands how to use Instagram or Facebook as a business tool, because it's your field and you control every aspect of it. That's one of the biggest things that I've seen from some field owners is it's their field. It's theirs. It's this, my precious field, my precious. And they refuse to relinquish any aspect of control to their employees. They refuse to relinquish that control because they're afraid that if they don't do it, it won't be done right. Well, the problem is, if you're not doing anything, you ain't doing anything. So yeah, I don't want to let my employees manage the Instagram because I don't trust them. Fire them. Fire them, bring in someone you can trust. Because I'm willing to bet there is a 16 or 17-year-old ref that you pay to watch kids who knows Instagram like the back of their hand. And if you let them manage that Instagram account, I bet you will see attendance skyrocket. Now, it's not everything. Instagram isn't everything, but it's a big piece to it. And if you're not effectively using Instagram, now the reason that I hit on Instagram so hard is if you look at the demographics and the key users and just the overall demographics of the users using the platform, it's kids between, what was the last report I read? 15 to 25, 26, somewhere in there. It's basically from about early high school, late junior high to about early to mid 20s, which is a huge percentage of airsofters. So if we're going to have a business that has a specific demographic to an age, why don't we find out what that age demographic is using for social media? Like, bro, this stuff is on YouTube all over the place. Just go watch 3 hours worth of Gary Vee videos and you'll figure out what I'm talking about. But you have control issues. Womp womp. So it's not necessarily location, but location is a part of it. I will do more specifics on that as it goes. Field maintenance and layout. If you're not changing, obviously, if you're not maintaining the field, you're going to have problems. If you're an outdoor field and you're not cutting the grass, look, even we have problems. We can't get staff members to cut our grass sometimes because for a number of reasons. And we get complaints from players. You have to maintain the field. Not only do you have to maintain the field, you have to make sure nails and screws and sharp edges, we have to do a safety check. If you're not worried about that, then a waiver and insurance is only going to get you so much before you just lose your shirt in a civil suit. Hey kids, newsflash. Just because someone signs a waiver doesn't mean you are impervious to civil liability. Basic business law. So there's that. Kids, you got to you need a new field layout. Maybe once a year. It also depends on the dynamics of your field. If you look at like HSP, most of those are fairly permanent structures. They have actual buildings. They have shipping containers. It's really hard to move that stuff around. But if you have an indoor field, for the most part, I haven't really seen an indoor field layout that couldn't be modified to some degree. Obviously, you're not going to be able to just push a 2-story structure around, but there's some stuff you can do to indoor fields to change some of the dynamics around. But you got to keep it going. Marketing and positioning, bro. Who am I? Moving on. Retail presence. I'm going to save the details for the big video. But if you are not controlling how your customer base spends money in the name of airsoft, you're losing money. If I have a player that wants to buy a new gun And my field is the only thing about airsoft that they know of. They don't know about shops. They don't know about really online stores. All they know about airsoft is my field and Walmart. I need to be able to produce products that my customers want to buy. If a kid or a kid's parents comes up to me and goes, hey, I want to buy my son a new airsoft gun. I'm looking to spend $200 to $220. What do you recommend? Oh, we have this rifle on the shelf. It's actually on sale. You buy the whole package for $200. Ta-da! Boom. Profits, baby. Revenue. Get right. Or you can go, well, we don't actually sell stuff. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to physically go to another location, but you're gonna have to give money to not me. That doesn't what? Wait, what? When do you go into an In-N-Out and someone says, hey, I want a cheeseburger, and you go, oh, actually, these cheeseburgers are pretty great, but they have better ones over here. What? Why? Oh, it frustrates me sometimes. Anyone that knows me locally or interacts with me locally just goes, dude, he will not shut up about this stuff. So that is a sneak peek of what is to come. I am checking my notes. It looks pretty good. So this was part 1. We're going to try and keep all of these videos to about 15 to 20 minutes. Wish me luck. Pay attention. I'm going to talk some smack.